Hello everyone, I'm Scott T. Petersen, and you're in for a real treat today because my animation spotlight for this week is an animator who's widely considered one of the best in the business, and that's no joke. Just take a look at some of his original artwork here. Always interesting, with a great deal of styling and personality brought across to the viewer. His character designs and draftsmanship are second to none, as well as his amazing animation skills. His name is Sandro Cleuzo. And as you can imagine, that level of quality he produces comes from a great deal of focus, love for the art form, and years of experience. Sandro has animated and designed on many feature films over the years, such as Princess and the Frog, Anastasia, Tarzan, The Emperor's New Groove, Kung Fu Panda, Curious George, Enchanted, Fantasia 2000, The Angry Birds movie, and many others. Having been born and raised in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Sandro got his first animation experience at the young age of just 15, believe it or not, working on TV commercials for a local Brazilian company. So needless to say, I was really curious to ask him how he got from there to working on big feature films for Hollywood. So sit back and relax and enjoy getting to know a little bit about Sandro Cleuzo.
Yeah, I got my break in feature animation 4 years after I started, actually. 4 years. What happened was I was working TV commercials for about 4 years since I started, and I moved up from a rough assistant, rough betweener to animator. Eventually, I became an animator and everything. And then after 4 years, I was thinking, well, I really want to do feature animation, and I want to do acting. I just now want to be doing characters jumping in and presenting a product. I want to work in films with story and making the characters think. So what I did was, I remember watching this Don Bluth film, The Secret of NIMH, in 1983 actually. In my neighbor had a VCR. I didn't have a VCR, but she had a VCR, and she invited us the kids to watch. And one of the films were The Secret of NIMH, and I was very impressed. I never forgot that. And I remember watching. I didn't see the Walt Disney name. I saw Don Bluth, and I didn't know who these guys were at the time. And then when I started working animation professionally, I started to learn more about these people, these artists, and. I remember seeing more about them, and then I learned, okay, there's Don Bluth who directed, and there's John Pomeroy who animated, and all these guys. And I was like, I want to work for these guys. And then I learned they were in Dublin, Ireland. And somehow, oh yes, this lady, the producer from the studio I was working at, the commercial studio, TV commercial, she had this booklet that showed the whole studio in Ireland, and the booklet was saying, we were looking for artists, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. These are the people I want to work for. So I took the address, I Xeroxed the address in the back, the address from the studio in Ireland, and that was my focus. I want to work there. And for 1 year, I remember saving my money, which wasn't much, but I saved what I could. And I bought my plane ticket to Dublin, to Ireland. And I flew there. When I prepared a portfolio for 1 year, preparing a portfolio in the style of Don Bluth. And I flew there after a year with little money, and I knocked on their door and asked for a job. That's what I did. And at first they turned me down. They said, no, you should go back to Brazil and send your portfolio. You don't do this. You don't come here. I said, no. I had to insist, And they told me to come back the following day. So I went back the following day, the next day, and the same thing. No, go back home. Go back to Brazil. Send your portfolio. I said, no, I can't. And I couldn't speak English at all. So this lady was trying to help me in Spanish, which is not my language. My language is Portuguese, but because it's similar, she was trying to help me with a dictionary. But eventually, anyway, I was trying to convince them I want to see Don Bluth. And then Don Bluth walked in, and he said hi to me and walked in. I was like, wow, he's here, you know. I froze, I couldn't say anything. But then I insisted more, and she said, okay, wait here. And she took my portfolio inside, and after a few minutes, they called me in. Okay, let's go there. And I went upstairs to where Don Bluth was, in his office. He had my portfolio open, and he was very impressed by this kid from Brazil going. I was 19 when I went there, 19 years old. I was very impressed that I went all the way there to ask for a job, and he liked my portfolio, and he hired me on the spot as an animator, which I was very surprised because I thought I was going to start as a rough in between or a cleanup and move my way up. And I was an animator. He said, you're an animator, and I was hired. Okay, same day they after Don hired me, said you're an animator. They put me in a better hotel, a nice hotel. They gave me a tour through Dublin with a chauffeur. I'm not kidding. A chauffeur in a limousine, a tour in Dublin. I was like, wow. And in English classes every Friday. And they paid me a very nice house for 6 months. And it was amazing what they did to me. So that's why I'm, for me, he gave me my big break, in feature animation. So I'm very grateful for Don Bluth.